Some of you know me, and some of you may not, but I was the girl in our friend group that would argue with Tracy like 99.9% of the time. If we were ever together, we were probably arguing or in some way bickering back and forth. Where do I start this? How do I start this? I've known Tracy my entire life. I've known him since being in school with him and never taking a break or a breath whenever we argued. I never really knew him though until high school, and I met my best friend Taylor, who lived across the street from him, and they were like brother and sister, and I'm sure every single one of you in here know who Taylor is. But I never really understood that relationship. I never really understood how they were brother and sister or even acted like it. Because Tracy was just one of those people that was like, he had to be right all the time. And he just, like, he had to tell his side of the story every time there was a conversation. Whenever he started to hang out with the group, though, we had a love-hate relationship. Like, we had to like each other because we were in the same friend group, but at the same time we hated each other because we fought all the time. But everybody knew him as the guy who had zero patience for absolutely everything unless he had to have patience for it or wanted to have patience for it. He would also drive absolutely anywhere you needed him to, because it ain't nothing but a drive, you know? And he would always be there because he was always down for a good time. I'm considered the mom of the group, of the friend group. And after Tracy started hanging out with us for a while, he started calling me that too. But one time he wanted to find my boyfriend. Really long story. But I started yelling at him, and I didn't let him talk. And if any of you know anything about Tracy, he hated absolutely everything about that. I called him after though, and we both ended up realizing that we had been through the same things and felt the same way about the things that we had went through. And we both ended up crying on the phone, and I'd never heard him cry before. And because of that, I got so used to him being around all the time. You know, I got used to hearing his loud behind truck that he always had to beat the box on anywhere we were. All the girls he talked about, all the deer he shot, and all the pictures he had to show us of the deer that he shot. And the four-wheelers. Good Lord, at the four-wheelers. He knew anything and everything about them. And he also had stories for absolutely everything. He was the kind of guy that would get mad at you, though. And in like 2 weeks, he would be your friend again. But when I got the call about the accident, I just knew that those 2 weeks had turned into forever. And I was hoping that 2 weeks later, it would just like not be real. And I would just wake up and he would still be here. I would have never thought that it would hurt this bad, you know, but I guess you can't really ever know until it happens. A part of me wants him to come back and be the same aggravating Tracy that he always was, but then another part of me knows that he's with his papa, and he's with God, and he's having the time of his life right now. I can almost guarantee, though, that he's looking at us and he's like, why the heck are you crying about me? Go blow something up. Go set something on fire. Good Lord, I've never met a boy who loves setting stuff on fire so much. Seems like somebody who's very big and tall and scared of absolutely nothing, but Tracy was scared of the dark. Tracy was terrified of the dark. He was the biggest and tallest one in our group, and he was afraid of the dark. You could not pay that man enough money to walk alone in the dark. Just wasn't happening. This is the funniest thing about him to me. If he were here, though, he'd tell us, I'm not scared of the dark, I'm scared of what's in it. I really wish that he would just hop out of that casket and say, I got y'all real good, didn't I? It doesn't feel real at all. There's so many people that Tracy never knew he had behind him, and the amount of people that showed up at that viewing yesterday is absolutely incredible. Tracy will never not be somebody that we won't remember. We will remember him for so many reasons, but I've heard his mom say so many times he would have done anything for anybody. And that is what we should remember him by. The guy who would always do anything for you and be back in 2 weeks.